Okay, Grandpa, what were some local urban legends?
Well, supposedly there was a meteor land out by between Logan and Bensonward in the swamps, and some people said it was a flying saucer, and turned out to be some guys that used dynamite and blew a big hole in the ground out there and just scared everybody. And there was supposedly something like Bigfoot that lived up Providence Canyon that people talked about. And there was supposed to be a guy living in the bell tower up to Utah State University. It was supposed to be really spooky and scary. None of them were real.
How was it growing up in early Cache Valley?
Great. It was great. It was a real neat place.
Do you have any memories of like new things coming out, like TV or
Yes, I do.
anything?
I do. I had two friends that their parents made the most money of everybody on the block where I lived down in South Logan. And there were two TVs in their houses on different ends of the block. And that's when I was probably 6 or 7 years old when that happened. And the TVs, that was really important. That was a big deal. That was really cool. That was cool. And changes in cars, some of the things that took place with those, I can remember some of the new things that they put in when cars started getting power steering, and some of the new, well, especially when they brought out, when cars out, all cars had radios in them. You had to order them special to start with. So yeah, I remember some of that stuff.
Cool.
What about telephones?
Yeah.
Yeah, our telephone was on a party line, and there could be sometimes 4 and 5 families on one telephone line, and you'd actually just you'd pick the phone up and just run the dial on it, and an operator would come on, and you'd actually tell the operator the number that you wanted to call, and they would call the number for you, and you'd get on. You could be on the phone talking, and somebody else, one of these other families, would pick the phone up and they'd want to use it. They could hear what you were saying. You had to pay extra to get on a single line or one with just two of you on it.
That's pretty weird.
It was weird. I remember when I lived on South Main in Logan, and there used to be a set of railroad tracks that went all the way down Main Street in Logan. And the old original name was the Bamberger line. And I remember when the Bamberger and the streetcar lines, I remember when they tore the tracks up and made Main Street a 4-lane road and paved it and did a lot of work on it. I was just a little tiny kid, but I can remember that.
That's pretty cool.
I remember when they dug the trenches to put the natural gas lines in, when they brought that in. There was a lot of changes when I was young.
What about outhouses? Did you ever have to use the outhouse?
Nope, they didn't have those.
Oh, well, no, I
You had indoor
remember.
plumbing
I
and stuff.
remember.
Yep, there was.
How has it changed? How has Cache Valley changed from what it used to be?
It's too fast now and too many people. It's it was pretty much all agriculture, and it was just a real laid-back, easy way of life, and it was just a lot slower. People had more time to talk to other people, and people were just, I mean, people are real friendly now. They're still are. This is a cool place to live. It was just a lot slower and neater place to be. It was just really, it was a lot of fun. There's all the manufacturing that's come in now. We need that to have a tax base, to have income for the valley, but it was just a small, rural, little quiet place that when you wanted to go fishing, you could get down the river and just go fishing, and you could go hunting and do whatever you wanted. It's changed.
Mm-hmm.
It's changed a lot.
Dad mentioned something about you serving in the Vietnam War. Is that what you served in?
No, well, I was in the Army during that time, but I didn't go to
You never served
Vietnam.
in the Army.
I somehow, through twists of fate, I have no idea why. I enlisted in the military before the Vietnam War, actually, before they started shipping people over in 1965, 64. And all the training I went to was not related to, a lot of my friends went to Vietnam, but I missed it. And I was in clear up till, I didn't get out till 1971, but I missed it.
How was it like being an only child?
Oh, really good in some ways and not good in a whole lot of others. But it was, I didn't know any different because all of my friends that I grew up with were my age or a year behind me, and everybody was what they call war babies. And so we were all the same age. Nobody had, if they had older brothers or sisters, they were 3, 4, and 5 years older than they were. So a lot of my friends had brothers and sisters, but we didn't have anything to do with them. We just kids our age. So I didn't really know any different till I got later when I got in high school, and I kind of started realizing there was a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It was fun.
How was living on Main Street? Before it was Main Street, I guess. How was living on there?
It was good. It was good.
A lot quieter.
Really a lot quieter, and the old Spud Nut Drive-In was right across the street from my house, so it made it real easy to go over there anytime we wanted. To go to church, go to Mutual or whatever, was just a block away on Main Street. It was fun being on Main Street, it really was.
Mm-hmm. How was school?
School was good. It was good. There was a whole bunch of us that were friends, that stayed friends all the way from kindergarten clear up through high school. And I still have contact with a couple of them. Their school was good.
How's it different from today, do you think?
Oh, I think today is better because they teach a lot better curriculum now, and their math is more important. And I think we studied history more than the kids do nowadays. And it was, I think today's education is better than we were getting. I really do.
Do you remember your first job?
Yes, I worked in a gas station on Main Street in Logan. I hired on the year I was a sophomore in high school. And actually my very first job was when I was about 12 years old. I started working for my dad. He started teaching me his business, music instrument repair. But my first job other than that was when I was a sophomore in high school. I worked in a gas station, pumped gas, greased cars. And in those days, it was full service. You didn't pull up to a pump and pump your own gas. We went out and pumped the gas for you, checked the air in your tires, checked the oil in the car, and washed the windows. That's what I did for several years.
That's pretty cool. Do you remember, like, how much milk and bread and stuff cost back then?
Uh, I think milk was like 20 cents a quart, and a loaf of bread would be, well, I'm not sure. I don't remember bread. I know it was very inexpensive. And I remember my mom giving me, she'd give me $1, and I'd ride my bicycle to the grocery store. There was one there on Main Street I went to all the time, and I could get 2 pounds of hamburger for $1.
Wow.
It was 50 cents a pound. So it was a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
A lot cheaper in those days.
Do you remember, like, how much gas was?
It was about 19 cents, 19, 20 cents a gallon.
Wow.
It was, when I started driving, when I got my driver's license, I do remember because I was working in the gas stations, and it was 25 cents a gallon when I was working at the stations before I left in the Army. So it was pretty cheap
Mm-hmm.
compared to nowadays, obviously.
What are some of your favorite childhood memories?
Oh, boy, friends and holidays. Uh, Birthday parties, friends coming, Christmas is cool.
What would you do on Christmas?
Oh boy. I had an aunt and uncle that lived in Ogden, and they would come up every year, and my mother would cook on Christmas Eve. She'd always cook a big meal, and we'd always get together on Christmas Eve and have a big Christmas party. And then we'd go down to my cousins that lived here in Logan, also another aunt and uncle that I had. And my two cousins that were there, they were very close to my age, and we were kind of like brothers. And we'd go down there and spend Christmas Eve evening until it was time to go back home and go to bed, get ready for Christmas Day. And Christmas Day, my aunt and uncle, they'd drive back to Ogden Christmas Eve night. And Christmas Eve day, they'd turn around and drive all the way back to Logan, come up here, and we'd go down to my grandpa. I remember going to my grandpa's. I was quite young when he died, but I remember going down several years, and we'd hang out at my aunt and uncle's place, and they just, my mom and my aunt, several of the aunts, they would spend all the week cooking and making stuff for Christmas Day meals, and it was just great. It was all different weather than we have now. Christmas has always seemed to be really, really cold with lots of snow in those days. And we'd go ice skating down on the sloughs all the time, or up to Central Park. And Christmases were fun. The, the, the department stores didn't decorate their stores like they do nowadays, starting the end of the summer basically. They'd, they'd have big toy lands that they'd open the Monday after Thanksgiving. And it was just, well, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. They'd have the Santa Claus parade, and they'd have these toy lands, and you'd go up, and they decorated Logan just, it was beautiful, it was cool. They were neat Christmases.
They're cheap now, Logan is. They used to decorate a lot better.
Yeah, Logan was decorated really cool. They had lights all over the tabernacle, and they had lights up and down Main Street. It was fun, fun.
Do you remember your favorite Christmas present?
You'll shoot your eye out.
Boy, let's see.
Or a few of your favorite Christmas presents, if
Few
you can't
of them.
choose one.
One was the year I got my .22 rifle, and the year I got my BB gun like Ralphie in the
How old were you?
TV show. I was 8.
Did you get some pink jammies too?
Nope, no pink jammies.
Dang.
None of those.
Alright, I think we're pretty good.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Thank you. Thanks, Lizzie.
You can stop it now.
Thanks, Emma.